from the country of Turkey in the 15th century. It would have initially come from Japan, and we're almost sure that it's related to an art form in Japan called Suminagashi, because outside of Suminagashi and Ebru, or Turkish marbling, they're the only two art forms in the world in which we float paint and or ink on water. The relationship came as a result of people on the Silk Road.
Okay.
Taking examples from Asia into Turkey. Okay. So the whole entire process is predicated on the fact that we just walk along and we drip paint down. And we create droplets, which we call stones.
What do we call them again?
Stones.
Stones, okay.
Well, we think historically what they were trying to imitate in the very beginning was probably what they were looking at in a lake or a pond or a river. They saw the rocks down there and they probably floated the paint on top of the water. How they ever came to this is a real mystery. I mean, it's just absolutely remarkable, you know what I mean? I mean, I came in contact with the art form sometime in the mid-1980s as a teaching artist for the Pennsylvania State Council on the Arts. And I created an 8-point art program, which I labeled the World Art Project. And this would have become the most popular of the 8 disciplines I taught. I mean, it took over completely. I mean, when the kids knew I was coming to school and they knew I'd been somewhere else, every time we did paper making or something else, when are we going to do the marbling? It became real popular. So we apply it 2 different ways, and notice the first time I let the droplets come down,
okay.
And this time I'm actually sprinkling the paint on.
So what color are we working on here?
Okay, what we're doing right now is, first we use what's called dioxine purple, the real deep purple. Then we use that lavender, and now we just use one of the magentas, one of 2 different magentas we're going to use.
Okay.
Lots of people think that we're putting paint on top of paint, or we're layering, you know, and actually we're not. We're actually putting paint next to paint.
How do the paint stay separate?
The paint stays separated by different chemistry, by different chemicals that we put in here. Not very complicated, but through a series of chemistry, it allows us to keep the color separated by using something called a surfactant.
That soap's a surfactant.
Soap is a surfactant, and soap is our friend and our enemy at the same time. Too much surfactant, too little surfactant, it drops. So the whole entire art form is really predicated on keeping that balance, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Well, that's a gorgeous pattern just as is.
Well, yeah, and that's, you can see, we call that a stone pattern. And we really believe that this was the first thing they did because they were trying to imitate what they were seeing in nature, and that would have been a lake or some body of water where they were looking at the stones, because it's always been called a stone pattern. So what we do now, unless we wanted to use another color in there, but I think it's pretty set like it is, I'm going to give you an option to create some patterns.
Okay.
So we'll do this. We're going to do it in 2 different strokes. So in Turkish they have a term for what I'm doing, and it's called galgi. And it means to come and go.
Galgi?
Galge.
Galge.
I get it. Don't, please.
Hey,
I mean, if there
we're
are
all
any
learning.
Turkish people here, please correct me. And I don't want to impress anybody. The only 2 Turkish words I know.
Get deal.
And,
Get deal. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways, and yeah, I don't know for sure. But we do know that what it's trying to tell you to do is to go back and forth or to come and go.
That's gorgeous.
And it's the basis to all, it's the basis to many different variations.
Old Ottoman dialect, right?
Yeah. It's an old Ottoman word, and no one seems to know really what it is. Oh, we're going to print this for you now.
So what's this material, Richard?
The material is the world famous silk.
So this is silk from worms, caterpillars.
This is silk. Sometimes people say, what kind of silk is it? Well, you know, there are different grades of silk, but silk is silk. So because of chemistry, although you would think that if I pulled this off here right now, it would run and smell and that, but it's absolutely not.
They're double dipping.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? That's the coolest thing.
See that picture? It
What
dries
I'm doing
like
now is
that.
kind of rinsing it because the gel that we're floating the paint on, it takes some of that off of there, you know, and it allows us to just simply put it in a Ziploc bag. And when you get home, you're going to lightly rinse it, hang it up to dry, and iron it. Completely safe. And then when you get home, we send you home with a variety of care instructions.
Okay.
And you were so kind to have videotaped all that.
This will be on YouTube relatively soon. I'll give you my
All right.
business card so you see how.
Okay, good.
Okay, and
All
my
right.
name's John Marquette. Nice to meet you.
John.
Don't worry about it, Richard.
John,
Take care.
thank-
Have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.